Dragon Dialogue, Restorative Practices in the Elementary School at KISJ. Hello, elementary school families. I'm thrilled that you can join us for this exciting Dragon Dialogue all about restorative practices at KISJ. Let's start with a question. If you could name 4 positive goals for your child, what would they be? If you answered to be empathetic, to be respectful, to build healthy relationships with others, and to grow from mistakes, then you are right in line with our ES core values. Follow along and you will learn more about restorative practices. Children are on a continuous journey of growth in their development of social skills and social interactions with others. This development takes time and at different rates for different individuals. Listen to this statement. Educators have come to realize that you can't punish a child into doing anything. Rather, educators help children improve their behavior by teaching them skills to navigate the world around them and build capacity to engage healthily with others. In summary, restorative practices support healthy development in children. A toolbox or skill set to facilitate positive change. Children won't change behaviors and habits by being punished. What usually happens with punishment? The outcome is that they stop listening. Why is that? Because they do not feel cared for. Let's dig a little deeper as to how restorative practices actually work. What does a restorative practice school look, feel, and sound like? Listen to this. Restorative practices empower students to learn from unacceptable choices, to understand their impact, and to grow personally in their ability to make more sound decisions and resolve problems. Restorative practices represent a positive step forward in helping all students learn to resolve disagreements, take ownership of their behavior, and engage in acts of sympathy and forgiveness. This is preventative work for future success. To break it down for you, here are the hows, or the tools or skill set that restorative practices build. Restorative chats, listening circles, community building circles, effective communication with I statements, such as I feel sad when you, and curiosity questions. Here are the whys or the benefits gained. They build relationships. They strive to be respectful to all. They provide the opportunity for fair dialogue and decision-making. They address harms, needs, and repairs, and encourage all to take responsibility. Restorative practices aren't programmatic or based on any one type of curriculum. A part of restorative practices are adults helping to facilitate conflict resolution amongst peers. Here is a step-by-step breakdown of one way adults might help. Number 1, the teacher asks questions. Number 2, the teacher has separate conversations with students. Number 3, the teacher has a group conversation to reach a resolution. And finally, actionable steps for expression of feelings, accountability, resolution, and support occur. You might be asking yourself, well, what kinds of questions are asked? Here are some examples. These examples respond to challenging behavior, and they also help those harmed by the other person's actions. Please take a few minutes to become familiar with these sets of questions. You can come back to these questions at any time and even try asking them at home for practice. To make the restorative practice approach more realistic for you, here are some example scenarios that could occur at school or outside of school. The resolutions could be different and do not always remain the same for each occurrence. Here's the example scenario. 2 4th graders were playing basketball. They started name-calling, which led to pushing and shoving. The teacher intervened to break it up. Throughout the afternoon, the children continued to have hard feelings. These were the resolutions reached after going through the restorative practice process. They took a break from each other. They engaged in collaborative problem solving with restorative questions. There was norm setting for basketball time with an agreement. An adult checks the agreement with the children before they play basketball the next time. This will ensure safe play and both children are ready to move on. Here's another scenario that could happen at school or outside of school. Listen to this one. Student A draws an unkind picture of student B and shows it to their friends. Student B is embarrassed. Here are the resolutions that were reached. Restorative chats were held. Student B decided an apology of action was needed. Student B expressed their feelings to Student A with an I message. Lastly, there was a meaningful resolution. Here's what it sounded like. Student A said, "I am sorry for drawing that picture of you and showing it to your friends. I realize that it made you feel sad. I promise I'll never do that again. Will you please forgive me?" This is how Student B responded. "Since you promised to never do that again, I accept your apology." We care about our students from the moment they walk onto campus to the moment they go home from dismissal. We can be successful at this together by sticking to our core values of empathy, safety, and joy. The strength in adapting restorative practices is for the individual and for the community. Restorative practices are essential for a community to care for each other and grow together. Trust us in being the experts and knowing how to care for your children. With your support, we can be successful. We can also learn from each other. Thank you for taking time to participate in this dialogue. You are an integral part of our school community.